Good morning, welcome to Studio 3 again for another ruined weekend. How long can I milk out this ruined weekend thing for? I don't know, we'll see how long it goes. So what we're doing this weekend, we're heading north this time. Last time we headed south. 500 k's each way, of course. This time we're not going to use the Tesla Supercharger network. There's a few people have commented saying, oh, but you've got a Tesla, it's easy, you can just use the Supercharger network. Well, yes, that's true. But this time we're going to use nothing but the NRMA network. Just prove it can be done without using the Tesla Supercharger network. See what we have here on a better out planner on the web browser. First stop, Walls End. Leaving here at 91% charge, as you can see. First stop, Walls End. Charge back up 87%. Get us to Camden Haven Airport, where we plan to stop for the night and take some photos and stuff. It's a great little place to stay. Next morning, we'll head to Port Macquarie, top up again, head to Hat Head National Park, which is my favourite holiday spot. Awesome fishing, awesome swimming, great beach, just a great little place to go for holidays. And it's about 500 k's from Sydney. Great place for a weekend. Kempsey to visit relatives, Port Macquarie, Walls End, return back to here. Planned trip, 13.36 hours on the road. It's only a bit much for a weekend, I guess, but for the holiday season, it's still easy to do, even in an EV, as we're about to prove here. So I programmed that in, using current stats, current data, current temperature, all that sort of stuff on a better out planner, and we'll send that to Tesla Nav. Now the car should navigate us to Walls End. All those locations in order. It's just too easy with this thing. Any car, really. I mean, Google Maps on your phone does the same thing, seriously. But that's it, another ruined weekend. How long can I keep milking this weekend thing out for? I don't know, as long as people keep telling me it can't be done, I guess. So now we're here at Penrith, topping up on the Super Cheap Auto Destination Charger, which is 16 amp 3-phase. Awesome, 54 k's an hour. Normally gets about 70 k's an hour, but the air conditioning's running, keeping the car cool. So now it's time to hit the road after we top ourselves up with food and supplies for the weekend. So next stop, Walls End in Newcastle. Well, been a bit of a change of plans. We decided to stop at the Raymond Terrace Supercharger instead of the Walls End NRMA charger. For no other reason than you can buy some awesome fish and chips here at this shop here at Raymond Terrace. And we thought we may as well just buy some fish and chips in the local establishments and sit at the Supercharger while our car recharges before driving on to Camden Haven. So it doesn't just take away from the fact you can stop at NRMA Walls End charger and still make up the coast for doing this trip. Yeah, we just totally forgot about our fish and chips and we'd rather have fish and chips. So, here we are, eating fish and chips in the car while supercharging.
So, we are now fully fed. The car is now fully fed with some great fish and chips. It's now off to the NRMA DC fast charger. Yes, I know I said earlier in the video we would stop at nothing but non-Tesla DC fast chargers. But, in my defence, the NRMA DC fast charger is not far from here. So, if you've refilled there or here, it wouldn't have made much difference. The only difference is, here, there is awesome fish and chips. Yeah, there I go, I said it again. Fish and chip count is at what? So, once again, this EV is ruining our weekend by having more than enough energy to get where we need to go and onto the next charging station in the morning. And here we are arriving at NRMA. Oh, hi Mr. Police Officer. Anyway, the charger itself is actually just near the local footy field. It's only a short walk just down the road into town to get some food, I take it. So, now after a quick top up here again to get some, while we get some photos, it's time to head to our accommodation. And here we are, at Camden Haven Airfield, not far from NRMA DC fast charger. Normally we fly into here because it is an airfield and has a great little airstrip, with camping available right next to the runway and also the river here. But tonight we're staying in one of two very cheap cabins on the airfield next to the hangars. And seeing as we've arrived with plenty of charge, we've got settled in now and the car's unpacked, and it's not that far to Port Macquarie NRMA DC fast charger. We thought we might spend the evening driving around the local area and exploring the towns and seaside villages we haven't visited before. So we decided to head to Port Macquarie for dinner and to top the car up at the NRMA DC fast charger to save us doing it in the morning. So to get there, went via Laurieton, through Dunbogan, which is pretty true if you haven't got any toilet paper left, up to Camden Haven Inlet. And from there it was back around to North Haven, then up to Bonny Hills, then around to Lake Cathy, up the beach road to watch the sunset at the Port Macquarie Lighthouse before heading into town. Once into town we found a local restaurant for dinner, before heading on to the NRMA DC fast charger to top the car up for the road trip continuation tomorrow. But I must admit though, I've never been for this part of the world before, or any of those little towns. So many awesome little places here. It's great. Obviously, we're going to have to come back again here sometime in the future. But I am aware that there is a Tesla Supercharger just up the road here from this NRMA DC fast charger. But the point of this trip was to not use the Tesla network, as I mentioned at the start. But if somebody else turns up that needs the NRMA charger more than I do, I will unplug and go up to the Tesla one if needed. But until then, it is back to our accommodation at Camden Haven for a good night's sleep. Then wake up tomorrow morning with plenty of charge for the trip to Kempsey and Hat Head, which, to be honest, isn't that far up the road. It's about an hour away. So yeah, good night and see you tomorrow.
Good morning, it's day 2 on our weekend of road trip north of Sydney to Kempsey and Hat Head. Just left Camden Haven after a good night's sleep, listening to planes take off early in the morning. 2 strokes, noisy, anyway, would have been fun. Now we're on our way to the Port Macquarie Supercharger. The car is preconditioning as we are right now. We could go to the NRMA DC fast charger, which is pretty much right next door, but we won't go the Supercharger. We were there last night because last night we decided to go explore Lake Cathy, Bonny Hills and into Port Macquarie.
And
So
Camden Head.
Camden Head, yeah, it's a very nice place. Never been there before. You know, we're on a weekend away in the EV, so we figured we'd explore some new terrain we've never been to.
On our ruined weekend.
On our ruined weekend, yes. We topped up the car on the way home, or not way home, way back to Camden Haven last night at the NRMA DC fast charger. So now we've got 368 kilometres of range, we're about 80% full. Kempsey is about 50 k's away, Hat Head another 30 k's past that. So we'll top up the DC, the Supercharger, before going to Kempsey to pick up my mother and heading out to Hat Head, relaxing on the beach and in the river.
Yeah, I know. It's another Tesla Supercharger and not an NRMA DC fast charger. But the NRMA DC fast charger was literally just 3 kilometres down the road, so point stands. Well, now we've picked up my mother, it's time for the traditional first-time Tesla passengers reaction video.
The indicator when it goes off. But I'd like to see it just random, like at random intervals, like 10 minutes after you drive. Another 5 minutes later.
And of course, you need to do a 0 to 100 run.
Holding on to your stuff. Hold on hard. You ready?
Whoa, shit. Whoa, my stomach. Oh. Oi, oh. I thought my stomach was going to come out then. That's worse than being in the loop on the planes.
And now it's time to head into Hat Head, the best kept holiday spot on the New South Wales mid-north coast, and spend the rest of the day relaxing in the river, enjoying the sun, salt water, before heading back to Sydney later this afternoon. Yes, and this place is a bit of a secret, so don't tell too many people about it, please. Thanks. Especially don't tell anybody about the 12-kilometre long deserted awesome beach, the creek behind the house, all of just 500 metres away, that's great for swimming in, and surrounded by national park, walking trails and wildlife. Yeah, just don't tell anybody about all that. So, apart from the great swimming, the surfing, the swimming, the surfing, and the bushwalking, and generally doing nothing, there really isn't much more to do up here. Especially nothing. Oh, and being the closest point on the east coast to the continental shelf in the ocean, the fishing here is also fantastic. Yes, you can swim and fish, and actually see the fish while you're swimming.
Good afternoon, Sunday afternoon. It was actually Sunday evening, more like 5 p.m. Wow. We've just left Port Macquarie DC fast charger, courtesy of the NRMA, charging 50 kilowatts. We did spend the day around Hat Head, enjoying our time in the creek, getting sunburnt, worrying about range anxiety. Then went to the bowling club, had a nice lovely local meal, went to the beach, caught up with my mother. Such a relaxing, stressful weekend. Enjoying the sun, the clean air and the clean water up here on the New South Wales mid-north coast. So now we're heading back to Sydney, a total trip distance of 387 kilometres to get back home. We have 387 kilometres of range after charging here at NRMA to 85%. So the car is telling us we need to stop for all of 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, to get us back home at Heather Brae at the Tesla Supercharger. Of course, once again, we could use the NRMA charger at either Polkorden or Walls End. It would cost us nothing, but we're going to stop at the Heather Brae one as well because it's going to, again, cost us nothing because thanks to our referral codes when you bought our car. So yeah, if you're going to order a Tesla, any model Tesla, anywhere in the world, use a referral code, anybody's code. Doesn't have to be ours, it can be anyone's. Free Supercharger credits. Makes weekends like this so much easier, giving you more money to spend on stuff like great steaks for lunch. So that's it. Another ruined weekend, sitting in the sun, in the lovely river, getting sunburnt, having lovely dinners at the local club, catching up with relatives just before this lovely Christmas break here in Australia. Fortunately, we're heading back into Sydney now, surrounded by bushfires and a lot of smoke. So we have been lucky with this trip. We've got relatively smoke-free air, considering how many fires have been around this part of the world. It's actually quite amazing and unprecedented. These fires actually cover a massive area, millions of acres and millions of hectares. It's quite scary when you think about it, but yeah, it's the way the world is these days, I guess. So if you've got this far, thanks again for watching, very much appreciated. And don't forget to drive safe and take care and enjoy the Christmas and your holiday season. Thank you. Take care. Bye.